Hello, it's Gammy again. I have a question for you. Do you think people are happier today or happier in the past? Does it just take more to make people happy today? I've always been somebody who's pretty easily entertained, and I have a huge imagination, which keeps me entertained. So I was thinking about that. You see so many grumpy people. I was thinking about what kept me entertained when I was young. Not not a whole lot according to today's standards. We had a bag of marbles, drawstring bag, and we had a vacant lot next to us. So we always had a playground with marbles and dirt. And then we had a lot of sidewalk on our street, up and down the street, across the street, around the church on the corner. There was a lot of sidewalk. And I had clamp on roller skates. Oh, we didn't have bicycles. We had roller skates and a key. If you lost the key, you were in big trouble. I had a pair of secondhand ice skates, and when I outgrew them, I'd go to the local park where they had a swap, and I'd exchange them up for a little larger pair, and I'd do that year after year. And so we always had ice. It was Minnesota. We had a long winter, and we had ice skates. We didn't have any hills around us, but we did have a wooden sled with a rope on it. And I had a sister, a year and a half younger than me. I think I had a friend. You have a friend? I don't know. But we played a lot with the wooden sled. I have a picture here of a flying saucer sled, and I think those were really popular back in, I don't know, maybe the 60s, 1960s. And it was a cheap sled, a lot of fun. And if you were careful with it, it didn't crack or break in two. You could use it winter after winter. We didn't have board games in our house. We had color books and color crayons, pencils, and paper. And it occupied us for hours. I think I mentioned in another video that we didn't have a television. We had radio. I remember my grandmother, every day at 12 o'clock noon, she had to sit in front of her radio and listen to Cedric Adams on the WCCO radio channel out of Minneapolis. She thought he was grand. Look at how many TV reporters and mediators that we have today, dozens of them. And he was the only one, at least for my grandmother. I think at night, after we got a TV, it was Edward R. Murrow or some other reporter like that. My folks didn't have a lot of time for entertaining themselves, but they always could find time to play cribbage. They loved the game of cribbage. It's a card game, and it's perfect for two people. In fact, it seems like my father had a rule that nobody could marry one of his three daughters unless they could play cribbage. And if they couldn't, he'd teach them. I remember that. Yeah. Oh, well. We also had a yo yo. Yo yos were, I don't know, no more than $1. It was a piece of wood with a string, and it kept you occupied. And all of the little boys in the neighborhood had competitions to see who was the best and who could manipulate the ring and the yo yo. And we had a jump rope. Usually, our jump rope, my sister's and mine, was a piece of clothesline, but it worked. It was fine. And you could have a long jump rope or you could have an individual shorter one. And then if anybody had like an old tennis ball or a rubber ball, in the evenings we would play Annie Annie Over, where one team would be on one side of your house and one team on the other side of the house. And you'd throw that ball, and hopefully you threw it hard enough, it would go up over the roof and down onto the other side, and somebody on that side would catch it. And before they threw it back, they'd say, Annie, Annie, over. Oh, that was fun. We played hide and seek and tag, and we just had fun with each other. And it didn't cost a penny or two. I do remember when I was in 8th or ninth grade, all the rage were two dances. The Charleston was the most popular dance. And I begged my mother. She was really attractive woman, knew how to dance. She didn't take lessons. She and my dad didn't go out dancing. She just had an idea of how it would go. And she taught me to do the Charleston. And then later on, when I got ninth and 10th grade, she taught me how to do the boogie woogie. Of course, that was during World War II, and that was leftover from the war, probably. Just thinking about all these memories that made me happy back then make me happy today. Just thinking about them. No, I'm not doing the boogie woogie or showing off with a yo-yo, but I am enjoying what I did in the past. It's a lifelong entertainment for me. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe.